No, no way. I didn't want that kind of responsibility. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I had anything against dogs. Problem was, as I was the oldest of 5 children, any jobs my parents couldn't handle had been outsourced, or should I say downsourced, to me. I'd been responsible for dressing, feeding, and generally riding herd over my brothers and sisters. The only thing my parents had never asked me to do was tutor my siblings. Things had been no better when I went off to college. I'd gone potluck for roommates in the dorm, and the computer had paired me with one irresponsible roommate after another. Girls who partied every night, forgot to set their alarms, left their dirty panties and socks all over the floor. They counted on me to wake them for class, to maintain a stock of tampons and rolls of quarters for laundry. When I'd moved back to Fort Worth after college graduation last May, I'd immediately signed up for the Fall Police Academy and rented a tiny apartment in an older complex in East Fort Worth. It wasn't much, 300 square feet and worn blue industrial carpet and a tiny rectangle of rippled linoleum in the kitchen nook. But as management loved to remind disgruntled tenants, the place came with free cable television. Most important, though, I'd been finally free of responsibility for anyone but myself. I didn't even own a houseplant. Someday I'd want a husband, kids, maybe even a cat or dog. But not yet. Not now. The handler holding the dog's leash ordered the animal to sit. The dog obeyed, turning her big brown eyes on me in what could only be described as a death glare. She seemed no more excited about being partnered with me than I was about being partnered with her. It was almost as if she'd understood what I'd said, that I didn't want the responsibility of taking care of her. But a dog wouldn't be smart enough to understand that, would it? I tried to think of another viable excuse. I glanced over at the dog. The beast had to weigh close to 100 pounds. I turned back to the chief. "I drive a smart car, sir. She won't fit inside." He waved his hand dismissively. "Sure she will." He still wasn't biting. "My apartment management doesn't allow pets. They're forbidden by my lease." Good thinking, Megan. He's head of the city's law enforcement. He can't argue with the law. "We called the property manager," the chief shot back. "He said he'd make an exception for a police dog. Figured it might reduce crime at the complex." The place had suffered a rash of vehicle burglaries lately. Nonetheless, Chief Garlick cut me off with a raised palm. "No more excuses, Officer Luz." The chief spit another gooey blob of tobacco into his soda can. "You messed up good, and I've got to make some cutbacks. You either partner with Sergeant Fluffybutt, or you're off the force."